Hi, Genki Call here. It is the week of February 26, 2023. There is a ton of stuff going on this week. So much stuff. And actually, instead of starting with the campaign tasks, we're going to look at something else, and that is that we have some new troops in the game today. For those of us who did not purchase what we needed to get them, the Ace of Wands and the Empress are both available as of today in vaults and epic vaults, and then Pyrophemus is now available as well. And let me show you what those troops do. I'm in the wrong place. Ah, there we go. All right, troops. Let's look at the troops and sort by base rarity. I meant to do unowned. Thank you. That is not all. So, Ace of Wands here. Nah, but you know, it's a tarot card that you may not have. Pyrophemus does damage to one enemy boosted by burning gems, burning allies, and burning enemies. If you need another legendary at Broken Spire, it is now available. Then we've got Pyrophemus, and what was the other one? I've already forgotten. Uh, Hold on a second. Oh, the Empress! Oh, the Empress! You must have the Empress. I already own the Empress, so it is not showing up here. Also, we have the new troops from Sword's Edge available now. They just became available today. No one has these until, they became available at reset. But the new troops here, you can get with any kind of chest. The militiaman you can get with gold keys. The rest of them you'll have to get with glory plus. But be aware, Mythic Friday is coming. Phoenix is coming into the game. Phoenix is coming into the game. So maybe don't blow all of your keys right now. Wait until Friday because we've got a new we've got a new Mythic coming into the game. I'm just going to do this real quick so I can get the new, there's Militiaman, and see, just curious, because I have lots of glory. Wait, what was that? That was gold again. I have over 700,000. Look, I've got almost 800,000 glory, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and blow this, see if I can get one more new troop. Boop. Nope. All right, I will wait till Friday on the rest. Also, let's look at the campaign tasks now. Campaign tasks for gold. Get, 30 Tauros kills and kill the flaming Oni 4 times. For silver, match 200 green gems in battle. Get 30 green kills, kill 2 treasure gnomes. Use the shaman class for 10 wins. And for bronze, win 3 ranked PvP battles, open 2 event chests. Use a Wild Plains team for 3 wins, open 15 glory chests. Maybe should have waited, but I don't mind doing that again. I'll use another 15. I'm not doing one at a time. Complete 1 delve at level 60 plus. Use the Horned Banner for 3 wins. That is, of course, from Wild Plains. The banner from Wild Plains. Craft 1 red summoning stone. Use an axe weapon for 3 wins. Complete 1 adventure board and explore Wild Plains 1 time at difficulty 5 plus. Next up, let's head into the shop and get our resources, Spoils of War. I recommend getting this every week. This is the best deal you're ever going to get on event keys, unless you happen to catch an angel or a merchant that has a deal for you. But in general, this is a fantastic deal. Also, weekly event, grab the Glory Troop, and I always get this up to max so that I can, for one thing, you get all of these resources, which is fantastic. But you also have 1 troop that you can guaranteed get up to level 20 when you need it for your power level, and that is invaluable to me. So, there we go. We're going to look over what the troop does in just a second here when we go over what we've got here in Wild Plains. See right here? I need one at level 20 to get this up to power level 25, so I'm going to be able to do that right now. But we're going to go over the troops in the meantime. So, we've got one amazing mythic here, and that is the Lord of Slaughter. I love this guy because I love skull spamming. He's going to create 6 brown gems and convert all brown gems to doom skulls. Boom! Yes! Obliterate them! Then inflict 1 to 2 stacks of bleed and 1 to 2 death marks on random enemies. And the best thing about the Lord of Slaughter is that although he does not have skull damage reduction by much. He only has 25% skull damage reduction. He has a 100% chance to do true damage with skulls, unless he is stunned. He's going to do true damage with those skulls. Fantastic. I love this thing. Next up, we have the Meh Torres, who does damage to all enemies boosted by attack, life, and armor, but it's a 10-to-1 ratio, which means it's not going to add very much. Unfortunately, I mean, they couldn't have done 5-to-1, even just 5-to-1. Anyway, then knock the first enemy to the back. He's pretty good for quick delves. I'm sorry, yeah, quick delves, but because you've got that horde boost, but in general, he's not amazing. He does have a little bit of skull damage reduction, and he gives attack to red allies when matching red gems. Immune to stun, that's nice, but in general, he's pretty meh. Then we have Ketris the Bull. I personally like Ketris. He does splash damage to an enemy boosted by attack, life, and armor, but this is a 2-to-1 ratio. Now, it is splash damage, so it's going to hit at max 3 enemies, but he's still a good troop and has a little skull damage reduction and gains attack, armor, and life when matching red gems. He's pretty good with a ferocity team. Next for legendaries, we have Chief Stronghorn. He pulls an enemy to the front, does damage to them, boosted by his attack, life, and armor, and even his boost ratio is 3-to-1. So that 10-to-1 is really insulting. Meh. He is immune to Devour, and he gives all Tauros 1 attack, life, and armor on 4+ gem matches. In general, I personally don't use him, but, next up is Hydra, who does scatter damage boosted by my missing life. There is a way to make this thing so powerful that you can just obliterate your enemies, but I don't remember what it is, unfortunately. So, anyway, it's the thing is, you have to have the life damaged. If the armor is damaged, it doesn't count. The missing life is what we're talking about. So anyway, next up we have King Minos, whom you will not be able to get. He is from the Labyrinth, and so you will not be able to get him except with your Chaos Shards down at the Labyrinth. Queen Moonclaw creates 9 skulls boosted by green allies, so you can have at max, so she uses green. You can have at max 13 gems. I'm sorry, 13 skulls. Oh, and enemies. Sorry. 17. You can have up to 17 skulls, depending on how much green you've got, and allies and enemies you have on the board. Blit. Sorry. And summons a random gnoll. She's okay. I've used her in the past when I was low level, but dangerous because you don't know where those skulls are going to land. Next up is Banejaw. Now this is a good place to get Guild Wars troops because this guy is going to do triple damage to purple enemies, and if they die, he creates some skulls. Yeah, he has a 50% chance to hit the wrong enemy, but if you're using it on a purple defense team, they're all using purple, so also does double skull damage versus purple enemies. We have quite a few of these here, this type of thing here. Next up is Bully Gnoll. Damage to an enemy if they use red, do triple damage. Same type of thing. If they die, gain 16 attack, double skull damage versus red enemies. Then we have the Cloud Stalker. He does it. She? Yeah, definitely she. This is our Siege Breaker. So this is the Tower Killer. 3 to 5 times skull damage, or 3 to 5 times spell damage to towers. So you always want to have your Siege Breakers and your God Slayers leveled up as much as possible when the events come around for invasion and or raid boss. We don't have them right now though, so no worries. Next up, we have the Earth Caller, who does damage to an enemy boosted by attack, life, and armor. You're going to see that a lot here. And this one is our God Slayer, as I was just talking about. So, watch out for this guy if you come to Wild Plains with Zolgoth or any boss, and that includes the Gem Dragons, anything with a red border. Next up, we have Mechator. You will not be able to get this. We have Mongo. Something random happens. It could be anything. He could gain attack, he could devour, he could blow something up on the board. You just don't know what's going to happen with this guy. And so, unless you like living dangerously or you're just bored and want to see what happens, I don't necessarily recommend using him. He can be fun in arena, but meh. Pyrohydra does scatter damage boosted by burning enemies, also burns 1 to 3 random enemies. And you'll get an additional 8 to your scatter damage for each burning enemy. Double skull damage versus burning enemies. This is always very nice if you don't have Fireblade. This is super nice. A little bit of skull damage reduction, 30%, and if they do skull damage to you, you burn them, and then you do double skull damage to them. Scleros doubles the number of skulls on the board, then creates 2 skulls, so he could conceivably really damage your party. And next we have the new troop, the Spirit Tooth, who does damage to an enemy, then creates 3 Spirit Gems. Those are blue gems that drain 2 mana from the entire enemy team each time they're matched. And double skull damage versus red enemies as well. So let's get her maxed out. I love this button for non-mythics. I don't like using this on mythics, but for legendaries, I'm all good with it. Or legendaries and below. So now that is up to 47 for me. Alright, next up we have the Storm Chaser. Destroy a row for each elemental enemy, then deal some scatter damage. The destroy is pretty nice. It's going to, well, if you're fighting an entire team of elementals, it's going to be a lot more useful. But the destroy is taking those gems off the board as if they were matched. So it's a 1-to-1. If you destroy 5 green gems, you'll get 5 green mana, for instance. And summons a firestorm at the start of battle, which is interesting because it doesn't use red, but, it'll be used with something. A lot of red here used at Wild Plains. Next up is Sunweaver, who gives attack, armor, and life to an ally, then gives them 6 mana. And she does double skull damage versus monsters. I wouldn't put her up the front because she has no skull damage reduction, but, if she ends up there, she could be useful. Here's another one that's great for Guild Wars, Wild Fang. Again, with a 50% chance to hit the wrong enemy, but if they use yellow, do triple damage, and if they die, gain 8 to all skills, plus double skull damage to yellow enemies, and starts battles with 50% mana. Next up, we have the Bullzerker, who does a range of damage to an enemy, boosted by attack, life, and armor, and if the enemy dies, become enraged. This one's a 3-to-1 ratio, so you add together all 3 of these and then divide by 3, and that's the boost you're going to get. Next we have the Gorgon. I like the Gorgon. Explode a row. Deal damage, splash damage to the first enemy and knock them to the back. Unfortunately, since it's specifically the first enemy, at max it's going to hit 2 troops with that splash damage, but he does have skull damage reduction by 50% and starts with 50% mana as well. Minogor, this one does damage to an enemy boosted by attack, life, and armor, and if the enemy's attack is weaker, deal double damage. So that's really nice if you are fighting something that's a lot lower level than you. You're just going to obliterate them, but it's only 1 troop at a time, and I like hitting multiple troops at once, which is why I generally don't use him. He does have a 50% chance to do true damage with skulls, however. And, wait, what was that? Hold on. Become enraged when an enemy dies. So he's going to be doing a ton of damage with skulls. If anything dies, he gets that enraged. It's going to increase the attack by 50%. So skull damage attack, an additional 50%, and it can be true damage. That's very nice. Next up, we will not be able to get the Rhinotaur. That's from the Labyrinth. The Winged Bison, transform all purple gems to red. 40% chance to summon a Winged Bison itself. Boosted by gems transformed and reduced damage from skulls by 20%. The Nature Link is very nice though. That's +1 green mana for every green mana match you make. The Bullet, you fought these in Delves. I hate them. Knock first enemy to the back. Deal damage to the first new enemy with a 50% chance to devour them if there are 13 or more brown gems. I hate fighting these guys because I hate getting devoured. Meh. Also has skull damage reduction by 50%. So, and if they manage to devour something, even better. Immune to stun and devour unless they get cursed. Next up is the Null. This is another one of the Guild Wars ones. This one is for Brown. Triple damage on Brown, double skull damage on Brown, and become enraged when the enemy dies, when an enemy dies. Can't get the Horde and Guardian, but the Midge Swarm is here and does scatter damage to all enemies twice. Unless they are submerged. You won't be able to hit submerged enemies, but it'll try. But basically, for me, it's 104 scatter damage. And the nice thing about it doing it twice is that if anything is barriered, it'll break the barrier the first time and do damage the next time. Super nice if you have a boost, say from World Event medals or from a Horde, they can be pretty useful. Poison enemies when doing skull damage and inflict disease, which makes it so that they only get half of their mana when they make mana matches. Next up, oh, I like the Ridgeback. The Ridgeback is pretty good at mana gen, especially if you're lower level. Knock an enemy to the back, explode 19, well for me it's 19 gems of one of their mana colors. And you don't know which it's going to be. He uses green and yellow, for instance, so if I hit an enemy that used green and yellow, it would blow up one of these colors. Ignore the bounty hunter thing. He can be used in bounty. He's not bad for that. And 1 damage to all enemies when I match skulls, and reduce damage from skulls by 30%. Another Guild Wars troop here. This one does triple damage to green and double skull damage to green. Also places Hunter's Mark on enemies when doing skull damage, so he hits even once. He is going to decimate the enemy team if they use green. Plus become enraged as well. So Savage Hunter is savage. This is really a great troop for Guild Wars defense on Green Day. Next is the Soothsayer. I can't speak. Choose a purple gem, destroy its row and column, and then give +1 to all skills on all other allies, not itself. I mean, it's useful, okay, for the destroy of the row and column. It's not bad. It does start battles with full mana, and you get the Stone Link bonus brown mana from brown gem matches. In general, not a fantastic troop unless you're really, really low level, and the +1's going to make a difference. Festival Cow, meh. Give all other allies attack, life, and armor. Attack plus 5 armor, 3 attack, and 2 magic, and then kill itself. Yes, you read that right. It's going to kill itself, which is okay if you're using a team. Sorry. If you're using a team that summons and you want room for that summons, it can buff some of your troops, and then you can summon something in its place. Next up, we have the Hyena, who's going to do damage to an enemy, and if the enemy dies, summon 3 hyenas in its place. It is stealthy, so you cannot target it. And then lastly, we have the Tauros, who's going to do light splash damage to the first enemy, boosted by my attack, life, and armor. This one has a 10-to-1 ratio, as a common should, not a mythic, by the way. Poke, poke, devs, poke. And the light splash damage, you hit an enemy, anything touching it is going to get 1/4 of that damage. So, yeah, it's not a lot, but it's something. Wild Plains up to power level 25. Woo! Alright, so you can't go any higher than level 25 here right now. I am maxed out here, and level 25 got me an extra 2,000 gold per day. Nice. I like it. So let's go over the things, the events for the week. We've got some exciting stuff this week. Nope, we're not doing that yet. Guild Wars alert. All right, if you have any questions about setting defense teams, setting your sentinels, any of that stuff, watch the last 15 seconds of this video. There will be some videos there for you that will explain these things. But for now, check out the color on the side here. Find your attack. Yeah. Let's see. We'll do this, and this one's blue, so we'll do blue defense. What is going on here? This is all wrong. Blue, this one's purple. Why are these all set wrong? Is that even right? Oh yeah, that's right. This one's already at yellow. I'm gonna change that. Yeah, let's change that. Nee, 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 nee. That's yellow attack. Okay, where's my yellow team? Yellow and red. I need to redo all of my defense teams, man. These just can't seem to get it set up straight. But don't forget to set your sentinels. Again, there will be information, links to videos at the end that will explain how to do all of that if you don't already know. We have the Spirit Whisperer World event this week. I'll be doing a separate video on that. As for the events coming up this week, oh wait, before we do that. All right, Wild Plains troops get plus 10% and Tauros also get plus 10%. So anything that is Tauros from Wild Plains is going to get plus 20% to their skills this week. And if you use the new troop in PvP or Explore, you get a bonus 400 gold. Now we're going to do the thing with the thing. On Tuesday, that is tomorrow, we have the Labyrinth faction assault. On Wednesday, we have the Minotaur. It's so cute. I'm sorry, Minotaur. It's so cute. Minotaur pet rescue. On Thursday, we have the Shaman class trial. And this weekend, oh yeah, you know it. You know what we've got coming up this weekend, right? Ha ha ha. Ah ha ha. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to do something. Um, we've got the vault coming up. Don't want to miss the vault. Gotta catch all the gnomies. Catch the gnomies. Gotta catch them all. So we've got a vault event, and also on Friday we have, and I already mentioned it, but I'm gonna mention it one more time. We've got the new Phoenix troop coming into the game. A new Mythic. Save your keys if you can. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you will, and we'll see you folks soon. Bye bye.